It's not too much to ask Kamala, say, are you for a Palestinian state if Hamas is going to run that state?
Okay.
Yes or no?
And let's say you don't like her answer. Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
No, I'm not.
Kamala
I just said I'm not going to vote for her.
She's not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know her answer to. And in 2024, unlike 2016 for a lot of the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do, who he is, and the kind of threat he is to democracy.
And that right there is the perfect example of what's happening in this election cycle. Words versus actions.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty, and this is the Afternoon Drive. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, and my undeniably flawless reasonings. Hey, please like and share this video. That's the only way that we get the word out that we're here. Thank you so much for watching the Afternoon Drive. I'm going to play this clip again, and then I'm going to break it down exactly what it is that you're listening to. Now, pay attention. Zero in on what they're actually saying.
It's not too much to ask Kamala, say, are you for a Palestinian state if Hamas is going to run that state?
Okay.
Yes or no?
And let's say you don't like her answer. Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
No, I'm not.
Kamala
I just said I'm not going to vote for her.
Harris is not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know her answer to. And in 2024, unlike 2016 for a lot of the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do, who he is, and the kind of threat he is to democracy.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Now we ask, sir, are you willing to let Kamala Harris put someone from Hamas in charge of a Palestinian Arab state? And she said, well, certainly not. But does that mean you'll vote for Donald Trump then? Right there. That's it. This is what we're dealing with. These people that suffer from this Trump derangement syndrome. Notice how she finishes it out. We've already know what he's capable of, that he is a threat to democracy. Really? Explain to me, the 4 years he was in office, how he ended democracy. Go. What are the policies he instituted that somehow were a threat to and ended democracy? Go. Well, of course I can't do it, because these are regurgitated talking points. Because that's what the left deals in. And the media knows that, and it plays into their strength, into their wheelhouse. It's not about what you do, it's about what you say. Donald Trump could cure cancer, and they would still make him a villain. Donald Trump could absolutely wipe out the national debt, get rid of all the back-breaking inflation and credit card interest that is killing the average American family, and somehow he would still be an existential threat to democracy. He could end a war. We could have peace and prosperity. Illegal immigration would come to an end. People would be coming in legally. Our cities and streets would be cleaned up. The homeless problem would be solved. And yet somehow, Orange Man, bad. Kamala Harris, on the flip side, doesn't have to do a thing. She just has to say the right things. And if she says the right things, for the typical liberal, the action that is required is not in Kamala actually doing something. It's in each liberal going into the voting booth and voting for her. There, that's the action. That's what saves democracy. Then after that, they go on with their lives and couldn't give a flying flip if any of her policies actually help make America better. They will complain when some of those policies actually affect them adversely, that it's their 401k that's being depleted, it's their assets that are taking a hit, but yet they'll continue to vote for this. This is why you look at blue cities that are being absolutely run into the ground. And there's this part of you look at it and you say, well, you people vote for this. Every 4 years, you keep the Democratic machine in power. You let them tell the same lies every 4 years and get away with it, that we're going to make your life better and we're for the middle class and we're for the working man. And then they get elected and they do absolutely nothing for the working class, and they create all of these woke laws and constantly catering to the elite liberal class within their party, which thus, we're not going to prosecute crime. So criminals run the streets, they go wild, they're destroying neighborhoods, businesses are pulling out, the economic blight on the inner cities gets even worse and worse and worse and worse, and yet you keep voting Democrat. And that's Kamala Harris. Asking her substantive questions on her policy, that's sexist. Because after all, that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is she says the right things. Now, she was for fracking. Now that she desperately needs Pennsylvania, she's against fracking. Hey, you want to flip a coin that if she were to be elected, what policy she'll actually go with? Yeah, you better believe it. Because she had a lot to say that was anti-fracking. But again, that was to assuage and make all the Green New Deal people feel wonderful. And even the Green New Deal people and all these people that want to end fossil fuel and our dependency on fossil fuel. You do know it's going to take a lot of fossil fuel to create the green energy, right? You realize it takes cobalt and coal and other natural resources to make the lithium batteries, to make this technology that you're talking about. An electric car has still got to be plugged in at night. That means a fossil fuel coal plant or electrical station has to be engaged to provide that electricity for that vehicle. So the whole thing is, on that level, it is just such a scam. But again, it makes liberal people feel good. You don't have to do anything. Just say the right things that make me feel good. And what they don't like about Donald Trump is he says things that make them feel bad. And they don't like to feel bad. But Donald Trump, in telling people things that make them feel bad, also brings with him the receipts. He brings with him the ability to make it better. You know, we all say, I want transparency. I want transparency. Really? Because apparently you don't want it from Kamala. She has yet to sit down for a real interview. Saw a great meme the other day. It was actually funny. It made me laugh out loud. We're happy to report that Kamala is in stable condition following an attempted interview. If you want this transparency, why do you not require it from her? Why does she not have to sit down and explain how she's going to do the things that she says she's going to do? Now, Donald Trump, on the other hand, they keep running these commercials against him that he's for himself. He's just a billionaire. And she is from the middle class, and she is for the working class. Name me one thing she has done for the middle class. Hint, doesn't matter. Because as long as she says she's for the middle class, as long as she makes the liberal bourgeois feel good, that they have voted for someone that cares about, quote, the little people. It doesn't matter if she actually does anything for them. And see, Kamala knows that. And she is banking on enough people will buy into that. Because that has been the liberal playbook literally for decades. It's not really about what you do, it's about what you say. Then when you get in there, you just pay back all the political favors you owe for the people who got you there. You know, the billionaires that put you there, now you govern on behalf of their interest. You know, the war machine, big pharma, big corporate America, etc., etc., etc. That's it. And you heard her say it. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump has a better idea. He's bad man. We can't have the bad man. No, 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 no. No. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump can fix it. Listen to the things Donald Trump is talking about he wants to do for the middle class. No tax on tips. No tax on overtime. Now he's proposing a cap on credit card interest rates. Isn't that the same thing as Kamala Harris and the price gouging at the grocery store? There is no price gouging at the grocery store. The high prices at the grocery store are a direct result of the Biden-Harris economy. It's Bidenomics. It is the inflation they created by giving lots of money away at the very beginning of their reign during the pandemic. All that unfinanced, unaccounted for money that they pumped into the economy is now coming back to bite us. And it means everything costs more. And then their war on fossil fuel, i.e. oil, drove all the gas prices up, drove all the oil prices up. So now it costs more for the farmers to grow things because of what's required. You know, tractors run on gas, they run on diesel. Then you harvest the crops. They got to go on trains that run on diesel. From the trains, they got to be put in trucks that run on diesel. Then they make it to your store. Everything in your store came there on a vehicle that was fueled by fossil fuel. You're getting why everything is so expensive? And the reason we have, quote unquote, what they call shrinkflation. No. What these corporations are doing, what these businesses are doing, it costs them more to make stuff, so they're making things smaller, trying to keep the price where you can afford it. If they keep making it at the same size that it was, they can't keep the price the same. You get how basic economics works, Kamala? No, of course you don't, because you slept your way to the bottom. A woman is not terribly bright. She's not engaging. The cringe fest that Oprah put on for her, she finally sat down with the Black Journalists of America, and even they, after she shook their hand and walked off the platform, looked at each other like, what was that? This is our virtue signal? And that's what liberalism is. It's all about the virtue signal. Elect the first woman of color. Doesn't matter if she's competent. Doesn't matter if she's got good ideas. She hasn't got one idea that's going to help the middle class. Not one. Well, you know, the $25,000 to help people get a home loan. Remember a few years ago, the government created this great program that was going to help poor people and minorities get home loans. We called it, Freddie and Fannie. And I remember how it all imploded and exploded because they gave all these people floating mortgage rates. You know, they got in their house at like 0.3% interest, got in brand new homes for, $100 a month. Then they were in them about 4 or 5 years, and all of a sudden, the mortgage rate went up to 15%. The payments went up to like $3,000 a month, and we had the housing burst. That's what we're up against. We're up against people who want to feel rather than people who want to do and get it done. You know, I had coaches when I was a ball player in school. These guys wouldn't be allowed to coach today because they were not self-affirming and they hurt my self-esteem and they didn't make me feel good. But you know what they did make us do? Get better. Identify problems, fix them, and win. And you know what I discovered? Winning was pretty fun. We're just here for the kids to have fun. Yeah, winning's fun. Trust me. This is the society in which we find ourselves. And if it goes one more cycle under that kind of leadership, i.e. Kamala, we are done.